You ever have one of those days where everything seems normal, grocery list in hand, sweatshirt on, just planning to pick up some produce and get back home, and then, out of nowhere, your whole world gets flipped and suddenly you're the headline? Yeah, that was me. I'm Maya Thompson, and I learned the hard way that sometimes excellence, respectability, none of it shields you from the ugliness people carry inside. Not when you're a black woman in Oak Ridge Hills, Nashville's little patch of white picket fence perfection. I walked in a Greenleaf Market, just trying to knock out the usual chores, feeling those stares prick at my subtle, mostly like a chill draft you pretend isn't there. I'd gotten used to it since moving here with my husband, Marcus. He's military colonel. Actually, Ann, I'm a neurosurgeon at Nashville Memorial. People think those credentials are armor. Sometimes I did too. Not that day. So there I am, in the produce aisle, Howard sweatshirt on, probably my first mistake, right? And I spot this security guard tailing me. He's not even hiding it, hovering near the kale, eyes glued to my hands like I'm about to pocket a mango. I tried to ignore it, counting off surgery steps in my head just to stay calm. But then a woman with that country club confidence walks up to the manager, whispering and glancing my way. A few minutes later, the manager, Brad, if you care, strolls over like he's auditioning for an episode of Cops. He doesn't even try for a smile, just, "Ma'am, I need you to come with me." I say, "Is there a problem?" Even though I can already feel the storm coming. Sure enough, the lady, her name's Karen, because of course it points at me and claims I took meds from her purse. Now, I'm standing there thinking, seriously? But she's in full performance mode, wants her pills back, wants me arrested. I'm a doctor, for crying out loud. What am I going to do with her prescription? Brad's not buying what I'm selling, though. We've called the police. They'll sort it out. My pulse is up, but I reach for my phone anyway. Need to call Marcus. "Keep your hands where I can see them," Brad barks, just loud enough for the crowd to hear. Suddenly, everyone's hyper-interested in avocados. When the cops roll in, it's textbook, two white officers, hands flirting with their holsters. They talk to everyone but me. Listen to Karen's Oscar-worthy story. Every sentence gets more dramatic. Officer Simmons finally looks at me and says, "ID." I give it to him, try to keep my voice steady. Tell him I live 3 blocks away, that I'm Dr. Maya Thompson. Doesn't matter. He smirks. "Nobody matching your description lives in that neighborhood that I know of." Then, turn around, hands behind your back. You ever felt humiliation so thick you could taste it? That was me, cuffed in front of a dozen people pretending not to see. Officer Hanson grabs my arm hard, and I remind him I'm a surgeon, I need my hands. He laughs, and I'm a rocket scientist. They frog march me outside, sun shining like some cruel joke, and now the bystanders finally pull out their phones because nothing's real until it's on social media, right? Here's where things take a turn. The hum of engines in the distance, bigger than any patrol car. A military convoy swings into the lot, doors swing open, and Marcus steps out, full uniform, ribbons and all, with 2 soldiers at his side. I'd share my location with him, habit, after the last time someone called the cops on us for existing in a nice neighborhood. He saw I wasn't moving and knew something was wrong. Marcus walks up, stone cold, voice like thunder. "Officers, I am Colonel Marcus Thompson, United States Army. Why is my wife in handcuffs?" Simmons tries to play it cool. "This is a police matter, sir." But Marcus isn't moving. He mentions our friend, the police chief's daughter. I saved her life last year after a car accident. Then his buddy, Captain Rodriguez, steps in, offers to call the chief directly. Suddenly, the cuffs come off. The store manager tries to backpedal. "Maybe we should discuss this privately." Marcus waves him off, makes it clear if my humiliation was public. So, is this reckoning? Karen, the lady with the purse, stammers that maybe she made a mistake. The chief arrives, face like he swallowed a lemon, tries to smooth things over with some limp apology. But right then, as if the universe wants to test me, an elderly black man in the crowd collapses. No time to think, me training kicks in. I rush to his side. Simmons tries to step in, "Ma'am, step away." Marcus shuts him down, and I work on the man, Walter Jenkins, deacon at a local church. He mumbles, "Wanted to help you, was too afraid." Paramedics show up, thank me. I just nod, get back up, and now the cops have to escort me to the hospital because I'm needed for emergency surgery. Funny how the very officers who treated me like a criminal now have to clear the road so I can save a kid's life. That day should have ended there, right? Justice served, maybe an apology. Instead, the fallout was just beginning. News vans at the parking lot, hashtags trending, hospital staff white coats, and blue scrubs meeting me at the ER, real respect in their eyes. But out there, on the internet, the trolls and defenders come out. Some folks say the officers were just doing their job. Some wonder if I should have been more compliant. Others see what's really going on, call it by its name, racism. At home, Marcus and I start getting threats. Garage door spray painted, anonymous calls. Someone tries to sabotage my career with bogus patient complaints. Marcus get called into the colonel's office for overstepping because apparently defending your wife from injustice is bad PR. The HOA starts sending us fines for made-up reasons a mailbox is too tall, garbage bins at the curb too long, that sort of thing. Support pours in, though. My colleagues at the hospital, Walter Jenkins and his church, even strangers who've seen videos. An investigative journalist, Zoe, uncovers patterns turns out our neighborhood has a long history of quietly pushing out black families, and Officers Simmons and Hanson are frequent players in the game. Even worse, Simmons' dad is head of the police union and on the HOA board. They've got a whole network set up to keep people like me on the outside. But Marcus isn't one to let that stand. He works with his army buddies, gathers evidence group chats between officers bragging about keeping the neighborhood clean, targeting anyone who doesn't belong. Lieutenant Williams, one of Marcus's friends, gets offered a bribe to stay quiet. He records the whole thing. Meanwhile, at the hospital, I discover black patients brought in by police have worse outcomes. It's systemic, see? If the cops treat you like a threat, the hospital staff unconsciously follow their lead. We push for policy changes. The CEO, Dr. Richardson, stands up for me, for all of us. We go public. The dominoes start to fall. Officers Simmons and Hanson are investigated, fired, then indicted. Their union president, Dad, faces charges for corruption. Karen's out of job, ends up doing community service at Walter's church where she learns what it means to really see people. The neighborhood forms an inclusion council, and for the first time, we start seeing real change. I'm not going to lie, it took a toll on my nerves, on our marriage, on my sense of safety. But I didn't back down. I started a mentorship program for young black doctors. Marcus helped create a military-civilian relations initiative. We refused to leave Oak Ridge Hills. We hosted a barbecue, invited everyone. Some people came out of curiosity, some out of guilt, but over plates of ribs and laughter, you could feel walls coming down. 1 year later, I walk back into Greenleaf Market. New manager, diverse staff. An older white woman stops me. "Aren't you Dr. Thompson? You saved my grandson." In that moment, I'm seen not as a threat, but as a neighbor, a healer, a human being. That's all I ever wanted. Look, I know not everyone gets this kind of ending. Not everyone has the resources, the platform, the perfect storm of evidence. But if enough of us refuse to shrink, if we document, if we fight, systems have to change. Excellence shouldn't be the entry ticket to dignity. Justice shouldn't depend on whether the news cameras show up. So, tell me, would you have done if you saw what happened to me? Would you speak up? Would you risk it? Or would you look away, hope it blows over? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Your story, your Kuragite matters. And if this hits home, share it, talk about it. Change doesn't start in the courtroom or city hall. It starts right here, with all of us deciding we're done being silent.